Let's move on to education.
Hey.
We support Out Magazine after ban from Pennsylvania Library. War is declared on the queer community. In the quiet aisles of a Northern Cambria Public Library in a small borough of Pennsylvania, Library Director Justin Brown would routinely update the magazine section, that including adding the latest issue of Out, a magazine that celebrates LGBTQ plus culture, art, entertainment, and fashion. But each time he went to place a new issue of the magazine, he found the previous issue mysteriously missing. This pattern of disappearance, initially a puzzling anomaly, has unraveled into a profound debate over representation and censorship, culminating in Brown's dramatic resignation at a recent library board meeting. In an interview with The Advocate, Brown detailed the events leading to his exit. Brown said after witnessing the pattern of disappearance that he inquired with the staff, who were also unaware of how or why the magazines went missing. This lack of clarity led Brown to confront the board president, Bill Lantzy, who confirmed that Out was indeed being removed from the collection because it was deemed inappropriate and that it allegedly contained nudity. During a November 28th meeting, the Northern Cambria Library System board members expressed concerns about the magazine's content, particularly its suitability for a younger audience. Brown challenged these concerns by demonstrating the educational and cultural value of the magazine, but the board overlooked his perspective. Out Magazine has a 31-year history of documenting our LGBTQ plus world and is a sibling publication of The Advocate. Queer News Tonight stands in its support for Out Magazine, an institution of knowledge like Northern Cambria Public Library is declaring a culture war on us all. Well, here again is an effort to censor. Yeah. I mean, you know, there are some magazines that absolutely would not be appropriate in a public library, but Out Magazine isn't one of them.
Yeah.
It's about...
I disagree. I don't think a public library should have any boundaries. It's a public library. I make the decision what I find
Well, I don't think a public library should have Playboy for people to go and browse.
Well, so I'm gonna be a counter to that is when I was doing my PhD research, I indeed had to go to Playboy for some articles that were written by Joyce Carol Oates, who I wrote about. So
Playboy is a good mag, but Hustler.
Yeah, I mean, I feel
freedom
that
of speech. You're saying that they should just be allowed to have anything in them.
The decision to censor is a self-decision. It's not for a public library to.
I disagree on that point.
And many people are on both sides of this argument.
I believe that Out Magazine has a lot of information about our culture, about LGBTQ plus travel.
Events,
art,
all kinds of stuff. Art, writers,
a lot of art, and important articles that are pertinent to our community.
Yeah, no, of course.
It's not a nudie magazine.
The Advocate has been around forever, right? And The Advocate was like some heavy reading for me, right? It was like, not so much, right? But I was in Out, okay, a couple of years back, and it's such a great publication, I just can't understand how. Ban National Geographic then also, because that's when I used to look at titties at when I was a kid.
Me too.
Yeah, me too.
We always went to the public, and it was in school, in elementary school.
It was in school.
We always wanted that hall pass to go check out the National Geographic cities.
And the thing is, this is attacking the most vulnerable LGBTQ plus people, because who goes to the library, especially like when they're young, especially when you're young. Poorer communities, people who don't have access to information at home or feel scared to look it up,
or it's not safe at home.
Exactly. Or it's not safe. God bless this librarian, Brown.
Yeah.
God bless him, because he went in and he explained his perspective, knowing full well that Upper Cambria is. Those people were not going to listen. They don't want to acknowledge our position, because then you have to acknowledge us.
Yeah.
And he backed it up. He walked the walk, and then
And
he walked
resigned.
away.
Exactly.
And then he walked away.
He had too much integrity.
And that was it right there, the integrity.
The integrity. He
Yep.
too much integrity to be the director of a public library that was being censored.
Yeah.
And if he was in Florida, he probably would have, his head would have already exploded.
Would have been chopped off, for sure.